Hello everybody, welcome back to the third Jurassic World Rebirth video in a row. First, I just have to apologize for all the headphone users I killed last time. It's probably gonna happen still. I think it's when I move my phone around like this. I think that's what happens, so I'm gonna try not to do that. But it's just the same setup as I always do. Laptop here, phone here. I have the trailer, and then I'm just gonna do like a lot more explaining. This isn't a reaction. If you want my reaction, there's another video on the channel for that. But anyways, first thing I want to talk about is the entire plot. So there's this family that gets stranded on the island, which is probably going to be like the opening scene, like them getting attacked by the Spinosaurs, which is then gonna come back in the final part of the film where they're being attacked by the Spinosaurs and the Mosa, because I think that's the ending. Don't know if you can hear that dog barking. Just gonna try and ignore it, but I think it's gonna open with the Spinos attacking the boat, and then at the end it's gonna, well, they're gonna attack the boat again, but this time they have the mercenary people like Zora, which is a stupid name, and the other guys, not Duncan because he's probably dead. Closet just opened, don't know why. I think something fell. But Zora and Henry Loomis and all those people, they're trying to get DNA from the largest dinosaurs on the planet, which a Titanosaur isn't the largest. It's Argentinosaur, so why didn't they just use that? And two, if it's pre-existing, if they need like pre-existing, I don't understand why it's not sauna. I'll get more into that later, but still, it's really weird that they made up this whole new island on the other side of South America. Because they mention that they're going to, I don't know. Hold on. Barbados. So it's near Barbados, which is on the other side where the Five Deaths and Nublar is. But yeah, also I'm not really sure why they need it from the largest species, because I would think it would be the ones that are most adapted. I get it's for like heart disease, but like surely the ones that have adapted to the new environment, that being the entire globe, would be the most viable, right? I don't know. Is that just too interesting of a plot line? I don't know. But the Titanosaur design is great. I like the fins it has, and this really long Diplodocus-like tail. I'm really hoping we get an attack scene with at least one herbivore in this film. That's something that we haven't really had since like The Lost World back in 1997, so it's about time we get more of those. I mean, I guess there was that like one stegosaur scene in Camp Cretaceous where they're trying to unclog a waterfall, but there was like one scene, I guess there was just one scene out of 5 seasons. It shows a herbivore being aggressive. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is the island itself. This is apparently where the research for the first park went, and houses the dinosaurs that are too dangerous for the original park, which I still think is stupid, because although I do have a theory that I'll talk to at the end about what I think happened on this island, because I do think that's true, but I don't think they're being entirely true about it. So this is Site A, and Sauna Site B. So I'm guessing they were here, then they decided to leave it after, I don't know, they just left it, then they moved their operations to Sauna. San Diego Site C, because that was the original plan, and then Isla Nublar is Site D. which I got wrong in the thumbnail. God damn it, I just realized that. But yeah, there's this island on the other side of South America. This shot, hold on. So yeah, in this shot, you can see like the eye of the InGen is like a very faded N. So obviously InGen was here, but this raptor. Now something I didn't notice originally is that it has this weird growth on it. Some people have said that it might be a second head. Personally, to me, it doesn't look like that unless the head is very deformed. But yeah, the raptor's body is the Jurassic Park style, the first two films. You know, because if it was the JP3 ones, it would have that distinctive crest they had. So yeah, this is probably one of those that just went wrong. Although, what you can see here is that this doesn't look worn down. It looks pretty recent. Like, not a single speck of dirt on this. This entire area looks pretty pristine and untouched. So, either they've taken this, and this is like it being on like display or something, or there's something else happening, and that's the sinister secret, not the D-Rex. Get the shot of Henry looking at the weird facehugger thing, and then the Quetz thing, which I hope is Hatzegopteryx, but they're in an Aztec temple which bears this, which has a god called Quetzalcoatl, which is where Quetzalcoatlus gets its name from. So it's probably Quetzalcoatlus. I'm not a huge fan of the design, mainly because it doesn't have that crest. I think if they just used the Dominion one, scaled it down, it would have been perfect. Also, notice how this Quetz is more intimidating, especially when it's like when they're in that confined space. Yeah, here. It's stalking up on Henry and Zora. This is more intimidating than the Dominion one ever was. Notice that? You don't need to make it Rodan-sized. No, it's just, and then the Mosasaur was also oversized, and and there's this shot where Duncan's distracting the D-Rex, and yeah. And then this thing, please don't say they're raptors, and then they're raptors. The only shot we see of the raptors, aside from the dead one, or at least I think it's dead unless it's in like some stasis thing like the Scorpius was, the only thing we see of this raptor are its feet. Now initially I thought this was Ghost, the Atrociraptor, because it was white, but I don't think the Atrociraptors are going to make a return, mainly because Ghost is dead. But all we see are its feet, nothing more. Every other dinosaur, including the D-Rex, for some reason, we get to see like quite a lot of it, like almost a full body shot. So why are the raptors being obscured? There's definitely something with this raptor. There was a leak a while back that was proven false, that there was a Utah Raptor toy, which again proven false, but maybe this isn't Velociraptor. And also, this entire scene doesn't really give us a sense of scale. This raptor could literally be any size. What if this is a feathered raptor? I know that's like a complete shot in the dark, but the dinosaurs in this film are supposed to be more scientifically accurate, which is why most of them are redesigned. Yeah, and then the D-Rex shot. I think it's oversized here, because you look at that looks like the height of a person, like this hand thing. But we get another shot later and it is not that tall whatsoever. Like, it's what I would imagine, yeah, here. Unless this is like a well, we see the InGen thing. So yeah, this is the flashback, which is, that might be where the raptor's coming from. But we see this like the mutant T-Rex or whatever it's supposed to be. D-Rex, which could be like Diabolus Rex, a working name for Indominus, or Doomsday Rex, which is from the cancelled Chaos Effect show. Unless there was another Lost World show I don't know about. I like to call it the D-Rex, as the disposable Rex, because my poor thing, he's been trapped in here. What are they doing to him? We see this guy, probably just nobody. And yeah, he gets eaten, and then we get to see the T-Rex with the jumping into the water, snapping at the family, as they're obviously trying to get the to the raft, which we know about. But this is clearly the scene from the novel, the river raft scene. I just finished the novel like a couple of months ago, so it's nice that we're getting callbacks to that. But yeah, and then the Dilophosaur, which is, I went past it, hold on. Yeah, well, first let's talk about the T-Rex sleeping. I think this shot, isn't it roaring? It's sleeping and then yawning when it wakes up, so maybe they do the classic breaking a twig or something, I don't know. But the Dilophosaur, the frill pattern, like, it's obviously like the Dominion one. It's obviously the Dominion Dilophosaur. Oh, hang on, I forgot to talk about this. There's this like small secluded area where Zora has to like crouch down, so she's only like standing up halfway. So obviously something small, which I think is perfect for a scientifically accurate velociraptor, wouldn't you think so? I mean, no, it's probably going to be like a compy or something. Now, well, we can always dream, but the Dilophosaur, the body is definitely the Dominion version. Yeah, you can see the orange of the crest there. But the frill, and this is like a CGI Dilophosaur, or at least I think it is. So they've had to remake this from scratch. Well, I think ILM already had the model, they just haven't colored it in yet. So yeah, now it's colored in, and we never saw the back of the Dilophosaurs in Dominion, but we do here. And the frill pattern are very reminiscent of how they're described in the novel. Hold on, I have a repaint up there. So yeah, the novel Dilophosaurs have this like leopard or jaguar patterning on them in the novel. And we can see that on the frill, so I'm assuming this is like the film version of that. Obviously in the novel they didn't have a frill, but it could just be like the angle. This looks bigger than any Dilophosaur we've had before. So fingers crossed this is a fully grown one like we had in the novel. And finally, the Spinosaurs and the Mosasaur, which have this symbiotic relationship for some reason. Yeah, I don't really know, like, I get like the Mosasaur might be like protecting the Spinosaurs, but what does the Mosa get out of this? Or maybe it's like they're just protecting each other. Maybe that's what it is, they like protect each other. Don't really know what a Mosa or 3 Spinosaurs would need protecting from, but that's the only logical thing I could think of. I think it would have worked better if it was just like 1 Spinosaur or no Mosasaur. Because this just seems like overkill. Like, realistically, no one's getting out of this boat alive. At all, but that Spino design, it was so close to perfection, and then they just... It has this really chunky neck, like the leak said. It doesn't have the patterning of the Fallen Kingdom Allosaur, which I guess is a plus. I don't know. I kind of liked how that looked in the artist rendition. But yeah, it's just like got this really chunky neck. And the head shape of the Baryonyx from Fallen Kingdom. Marco Makes actually did a comparison, or at least I think it was Marco Makes, did a comparison that the head shape looks like this Collecte Spino that I have. Yeah, couldn't be more accurate with that. But yeah, it's just such a weird design choice. Like, if you want to make it more paleo accurate, go the full route. You don't need to like 65 it. That looks like what Spinosaur would look like if it was in 65. And then lastly, the Mosasaur jumping out and is probably gonna like collide into the boat. Well, I mean, it is colliding here, but I think that, like, it's gonna, like, slam into the boat, like in Camp Cretaceous. I don't know whether this is meant to be the same spine, the same mosasaur, and they just changed the design, or if this is a completely new one. But it doesn't look as oversized as it was in the previous films. So that's a plus, but yeah, that is really all I have to say. And then we can get into the theory of what I think is happening with this island, just checking if there's anything else I want to talk about. No. Okay, let's get into it. So on this island, we can very clearly see that most of the dinosaurs have new designs. The only ones that don't are the ones we've seen in the first film, being Tyrannosaur, Dilophosaur, and Parasaurolophus, which is sporting the Dominion design as seen in a leak a couple of months back. That's probably a retcon, though, just like how this is the first island, even though that should be Sauna, but whatever, David Kep apparently lied. But as I said before, with that raptor thing, if that isn't a part of the flashback, why is the cylinder in such pristine condition? What if InGen wasn't the only one on the island? Now, in the Jurassic universe, we've had 3 major corporations: InGen, Manticore, Masrani, and Biosyn. Forgot Masrani there. So InGen absorbed by Masrani, so that makes it 1, and that was shut down after the fall of Jurassic World. Manticore also came down shortly after that, after Camp Cretaceous Season 5, which was in like 2016. Biosyn only went down back in 2021 or 2022. I don't really know. I think it's 2022 though. Yeah, I think 2022. And I think what they've been doing is they went to this island, because as we know, there's been like not really that many Coast Guards there. And what they've done is this was their first base of operations. This is why the things are in such good condition, was because they were only abandoned a couple of years ago. Maybe this is where they went after Dominion. Maybe Biosyn wasn't disbanded, and then the last remaining remnants of Biosyn were here. So it either came before or after Biosyn Valley. And that's why the mutant dinosaur is still alive, because if that was originally part of what InGen did back in the 80s or whenever, shouldn't that thing be dead? There's speculation that the T-Rex at the start of the teaser is Rexy, which means Buck, Doe, and all the other original 7 are also dead, probably, and they were only like 30-ish years old. Whereas the D-Rex would be like a couple years older than them, and with all the mutations, don't you think it would have a shortened lifespan? This also explains why the dinosaurs are different, because it was a different company, this being Biosyn, who would probably try to do what InGen did, mixing it in with other animals, which is why the Quetz has a different design compared to the paleoaccurate one we see in the prologue, which, again, oversized, so yeah. And also, I don't really take the prologue that too well, because like they have all these different dinosaurs from different time periods of the Cretaceous and different locations, and they just mash them all to the 66 million year ending of it. Whatever, like if it was just the Giga, then that would be fine, but so yeah, don't really like that. But obviously their first experiments would end in failure. Maybe they even took DNA from Sauna. That's why Dodgson wanted DNA back in Camp Cretaceous Season 5. When they didn't get to him, because we all know the events of that show, he probably went to Sauna, got some DNA from the dinosaurs there, brought it back here, and began cloning them. Maybe he even decided to make his own hybrids, which is what that mutated dinosaur is. It was like a T-Rex with like a bunch of other stuff. Maybe they just mashed them all together. So yeah. Also explaining why the spinal looks different, they probably mashed it with baryonyx DNA. And they got like some pure DNA. I still think the Mosa is the same one from the World from the previous movies, just redesigned, kind of like what happened back in the Showa era Godzilla films, where he's like this, but then this, and then that's still meant to be the same Godzilla. And we also have the backstabber of the group, this guy. Don't know his name. His face kind of reminds me of Leonardo DiCaprio, so I'm just going to call him Leo. So Leo over here, he's going to backstab the group for some reason. Maybe he wants the D-Rex DNA so they can try and like perfect it. Because Biosyn's all about perfection, they don't do hybrids. So maybe they're trying to like get DNA that was lost in there. Like maybe they went to Nublar, got DNA from that cryo chamber, and then brought it back, because there would still probably be trace amounts of DNA, right? That's probably why Dodgson was so happy to see the Barbasol cannon in Cretaceous. So maybe this guy's just trying to get like some Segisaur DNA, because we know that was lost in between Jurassic Park and the 94 cleanup. I don't know. Maybe I'm just delusional, and that's because I didn't think Dominion was a good film, so I just hope Biosyn makes a return. Anyways, that's been my like discussion on it and my theory about how Biosyn returns, which is probably gonna be false. But yeah, that is about it. I feel bad for the video I'm gonna put out this Saturday. It's a repaint short, so hopefully that'll do good. But it's competing with like 3 Rebirth videos, so best of luck to it. Anyways, yeah, see you. This is probably the last Rebirth video I'll do until the second trailer or something.